Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday the 28th of October 2023. Today's Millwall news. It was match day today. Quite an eventful match day. On the grand scheme of things, it's seemingly good result, but as the match played out, felt like kind of 3 points lost. So here we go. Watford and Millwall draw at Vicarage Road. Watford and Millwall played out a 2-2 draw in the Sky Bet Championship at Vicarage Road on Saturday afternoon. The Hornets were in front early on through Yasser Asprilla. It was a fortunate finish, but Zion Fleming hit back for the line shortly after to ensure the score was level at half-time. It looked as though Wes Harding's second goal in as many games had won it, with it for Adam Barrett's side later on, but substitute Mileta Rakovic stepped off the bench to head home a stoppage time equaliser and grabs a share of the spoils. Adam Barrett made 4 changes to his starting lineup against the Hornets as Danny McNamara, Murray Wallace, George Saville and George Honeyman replaced Joe Bryan, who missed out through illness. I think he's injured, isn't he? Ryan Longman, Billy Mitchell and Adomu Maku. That a trio dropping down to the bench, which also included academy graduates Kamal Grant, Nido Adam Malachi, Romain Esse and Tom Leahy, as well as returning Kevin Nisbet. After honouring the life of Sir Bobby Charlton, the game got underway with the Lions having the first effort on goal, but Fleming's attempt from outside the penalty area was comfortably saved by Daniel Bachmann. 7 minutes in, however, Millwall were to fall behind in freak circumstances as Ido Kayembe's shot was spilled by Bartosz Białkowski. Jake Cooper's attempted clearance cannoned against Asprilla and it hit the back of the net. And Cooper's getting blamed for that. He tried to turn with the ball and then kick it long instead of just kicking it out for a corner. Bart was literally on his toes, but he didn't get the ball. I think if Bart had stayed on his line, that we may have got away with that one. But I think Bart's coming out. He's like spooked Cooper a little bit. He's Halloween anyway, but I think he did spook him. But who do you blame? Are you blaming Cooper? You're blaming Bart? You're blaming both of them? I don't know. It's just one of those freak things, you know, a bit of bad luck. Vakun Bayo almost got on the end of a cross from Ishmael Kone as the Hornets looked for more shortly after, but with 12 minutes on the clock, Millwall were level as the Lions' persistence to keep the ball alive from a corner kick saw Casper de Nor's cross flicked on by Tom Bradshaw and nodded home at the back post by Zion Fleming. Both sides jostled for possession and attacking position from there. Białkowski pulling off an incredible save halfway through the first half, reacting from point-blank range to deny the Hornets before Kayembe struck wildly wide on the half-hour mark. The Lions then had to soak up a lot of Watford possession as the first half came to a close, but they did so successfully as Keith Stroud blew for the break at 1-1. Jeremy Gakia's lung-busting run forward at the beginning of the second half ended with a strike at goal, which was blocked by Wes Harding, rolling inches wide of the near post. So the luck is on us and the luck is against us sometimes. It was against us for that goal, but it was with us in this one. Kayembe then tried his luck with a half volley, which sat him nicely just outside the box on 58 minutes, but Białkowski was equal to it. George Honeyman's racist run on the hour mark as the tireless midfielder working his way back to full fitness following an injury layoff was replaced by Ryan Longman, with the next opportunity falling at the feet of Fleming, who twisted and turned before curling a strike over the crossbar. Norton Cuffy's driving run took Millwall into the penalty area on 65 minutes, but the attack was to end with substitute Longman curling an effort inches wide of the post. Watford substitute Matthias Martins then tested Białkowski as the pendulum swung back and forth with 5 minutes to play. However, it was firmly in the Lions' court as Harding powered home a Saville corner to put Millwall in the lead. Remember him, George Saville? Where's he been? Where's he been all season? Barrett's side could have then had a third moments later, but after Jake Cooper's header was knocked onto the bar by desperate Watford defending, the rebound could not be forced home and was cleared away. 2 minutes into 6 of stoppage time, though, the Hornets were back levels. Mileta Rakovic climbed highest inside the box to nod past Biekowski. And the team was Biekowski, Harding, Cooper, Wallace, Norton Cuffy, Saville, Denor, McNamara, Fleming, Bradshaw, Honeyman. The subs were Billy Mitchell for Denor on 82, Nisbet on for Bradshaw 82, and Longman on for Honeyman on 59. The unused subs were Trueman, Imaku, S.A. Leahy, Grant, and Adam Maliki. Wow. So playing seemingly 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2 with probably the only players realistically that you can have on the wings and do well, not flaky. You can't have two flaky players in the team. You got Honeyman who can tackle, and you got Norton Cuffy who can tackle, and playing them at left wing and right wing seemed to work out pretty well. Interestingly, no Campbell, not even on the bench. It was said by, I believe it was Alex Grace on Twitter, that he had an illness. Hopefully that is true, and he wasn't named on the bench and spat the dummy out. But we will see, because it's kind of weird that he was on the bench the other day and Mitchell came on for him. No, not the other day, the day before, and then Mitchell came on for him instead of him. That was weird. So we'll have to see about that. But hopefully he's okay, because we certainly don't want another injury or illness or whatever. Although we do have, we've got no game in midweek. We've got the next game, Southampton, next Saturday. But that bench there of the unused substitutes, so Umaku, S.A. Leahy, Grant, Adam Maliki, that's the under 21s there. Quite a thin bench, to be honest with you. And they've got a game on Monday, and that's at the Millwall training ground, so we'll see how they do. Match stats: 18,621, 2,102 away fans. So yes, it was a game as expected. Two teams who had the same record in the league: 4 wins, 4 draws, 5 defeats. Same amount of goals conceded. They've scored 3 more goals than us. That was before this game. Like they took the lead, we equalised. We took the lead, they equalised. Literally all 3 options of the game were in play at some point or other. We were losing, then we were drawing, then we were winning, then we were drawing again. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. Like I said, if you would have took the draw at the start of the game, but after seeing how we played, how it went, the luck that we had, the luck that we didn't have, just a bit of bad luck at the end there. We give away that goal, but that's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? Moving on to some photographs. Spot the ball. Remember Spot the Ball competition? You wanted to see it from there. It's good to see, obviously, Wes Harding again scoring 2 games in a row. Interestingly, for the Preston game, I was looking at the odds, and I put £1 on Wes Harding to score 2 goals in that game, which was 1,000 to 1. Because I just started seeing that obviously you got Jake Cooper and you got Murray Wallace as the primary targets for set pieces, and obviously they're not able to do anything because the opposition just all over them and nothing gets done. So I think they're being used as diversionary now. They're like being used to pull players away from everywhere, and other people will come running in. And Wes Harding now, that's his role, and he scored 2 in 2. So fair play to that. Good stuff. So here we go. Casper Nort. That's Fleming scoring there, looks like. I don't think these are in any kind of order. Danny Mack. George Honeyman. Again, I think played quite well. Norton Cuffy. Zion Fleming. Interestingly, if you watch the highlights and notice, Zion Fleming tracking back and covering on the right hand side quite often. He was there for their goal, but obviously they crossed in and eventually ended up with Bart knocking it down to Cooper, who then kicked it on their defender. But you look, it's Zion Fleming who's running back to the defender. I don't know if that's the plan. They told him to do that and told Brugnell and Cuffy to stay further forward because he's quick and he would be the outball. I don't know if that's the situation. You gotta love these shots when some of the players' faces when this guy catches them there. But there you go. There's the goal, and we're back around. So there you go. Now moving on to this from Southern News. Adam Barrett expresses disappointment after Millwall concede late at Watford to let 3 points slip. The Lions look to have won it with a late Wes Harding goal, but conceded in stoppage time. Yeah, that's how it goes these days, isn't it? 10 minutes of stoppage time, or well, it wasn't 10 minutes today, but there is stoppage time, and it could go on and on. And I was thinking at the end, like, it probably would have been a bit too early, but for that chance where Saville took the free kick and Cooper nearly scored, he headed it towards goal and their defender headed it up on the crossbar, and like I said, we had a bit of bad luck because it hit the crossbar and came out instead of hitting the crossbar and coming in. Could they have just took that to the corner and just wasted a couple of minutes? I don't know, maybe it was a bit too early to do that, but they tried to score, so fair play. They didn't fuck around. They kept trying to get that third goal. Just didn't really happen. Adam Barrett said he was definitely disappointed after Millwall conceded late to draw at Watford. The Lions had taken a surprise 2-1 lead at Vicarage Road thanks to a header from Wes Harding 5 minutes from time, but would not claim the win thanks to Milita Marakovic's 92nd minute equaliser. Harding even had the chance to make it 3-1 after his goal, but hit the crossbar during a crazy finale at Vicarage Road. It was Cooper who hit the crossbar. Cooper's header was headed up onto the crossbar, unless Harding did it as well. The late exchanges came after Zion Fleming cancelled out Yasser Asprilla's goal in the first 12 minutes. While Millwall are now 5 unbeaten away from home, caretaker manager Barrett was not impressed at the failure to hold on to the points. Well, yeah, if our home form is so completely dog shit, we need every point we can get away from home, don't we? He said after the game, definitely disappointed after we got ourselves into a great position there. A great chance to go 3-1 up, and I was just expecting the ball to hit the back of the net. And then at the end there, it's a real sickener to take because we worked so hard to put ourselves in such a good position. And I expect us to deal with that at the end there. It's a bread and butter sort of chance for us. I was very disappointed to see that going to the back of the net. The 2 goals we conceded today were poor. I'd expect us to deal with both. The first one was obviously a mix-up, a mistake, if you will, which puts you at the back foot straight away. All the work you've done and you're on the back foot. But I felt we responded really well. We've got a little bit ragged at the end of the first half where they opened us up a bit. We started jumping out of our shape and they were starting to cause us some problems. But we regrouped again second half and I felt we were in control for a lot of it. And I didn't feel concerned. We got the goal from the set play and then the kick in the teeth right at the end there. Harding's goal came from a corner, making it 3 games in a row that Millwall scored from set pieces. Joe Bryan free kicks converted by Duncan Warman and Harding had previously opened a scoring against Hull and Blackburn Rovers on the lines rediscovering their set piece touch. Barrett said, it's been a real asset for us over the last few years, but it's like anything now. Teams make it very hard for you and you have to find a way of doing it, but I do expect us to be scoring more goals from set plays with the players that we've got, and that's something we've worked on and spoke about. So it was nice to see that go in, but I do expect more from us, and I expect us to be even more threatening than we have been so far. I was hoping that if we got the 3 points, the confidence would have come back, because you can see it in spells when we are confident, we can control the game a little bit more than we've done. It's been a hectic week. We've had 3 tough games. The boys have stuck together. Pleased to get a point because this is a dangerous place to come. But on the back of it, the situation we were in, not to get the 3, seems a bit rough. On George Honeyman, who made his first start of the season after a long injury layoff, the caretaker boss said, I'm really pleased for George. He's been out for a long while with injury. It's his first minute, so he's not fully match fit by any stretch of the imagination. He's been out for a long while. But I thought he came on and he gave us a spark. He's got the energy. He's an energetic player. He's quite an infectious character. And I'm just delighted to have a player back because we are bare bones at the moment. Indeed. Have you seen our squad? Now, this was put up before the game. I don't know if that changes anything. This is from the southernnews.co.uk. Tom Bradshaw talking about Gary Rowett. Will we find a nugget of information in this copy? So Tom Bradshaw remembers his 25-minute hat-trick against Watford a year ago and explains why Gary Rowett should be proud of his Millwall legacy. The Welsh striker also spoke about finding his groove in front of goal and his thoughts on Aidomu Amaku ahead of today's championship clash. Tom Bradshaw said shock was his overriding feeling when he completed his sensational 25-minute hat-trick against Watford last season. A little over a year ago, the Welsh striker single-handedly ripped the Hornets apart in a first-half melee between the 8th and 33rd minute, sparking him into the best goal-scoring season in a Lions shirt. He would have grabbed 17 goals by the end of the championship campaign. It was his first Millwall hat-trick, and fans heading to Vicarage Road will be praying they see a similar one-man show today. Well, he did have an assist. Goals haven't been as easy to come by for Bradshaw so far in this campaign, but he's confident that he can get his groove now he's put some niggling injuries behind him. He told the News then, well, there's been ups and downs so far. I've had a couple of injuries which have been frustrating. I probably haven't had the sort of chances or goals that I would have liked so far. But that sometimes happens, doesn't it, with studded starts and little injuries. So I'm really hoping to get into a little groove now and that I'm back fit and playing regularly. I felt like I've been playing well. It's always the case where if you have a good goal-scoring season last season, then your card is marked slightly more for the season following, isn't it? But I'm fully confident that I'll be back into the goal-scoring swing, and there's no reason why I can't replicate what I did last year, isn't it? Bradshaw can take inspiration from his exploits on October 19th, 2022, when he gave the dinner performance to remember against Watford. His first goal was pick at a bunch, a wonderful curling volley that bent away from goalkeeper Daniel Backman. His second and third goals were strangely similar, with long balls launched from free kicks on the halfway line, landing for Jake Cooper. Both times the ball eventually found its way to Bradshaw. Mason Bennett took the assist for the second, and the 31-year-old's razor-sharp finishing saw him claim the match ball by the 33rd minute. Remembering the match, Bradshaw said, well, it was a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. I scored the third goal in about the 32nd minute, so yeah, it was a mad half hour, wasn't it? When the third one hit the back of the net, I think it was more of shock than anything. It's something you hope for as a player, but you don't really expect to score a first-half hat-trick. Yeah, it was an incredible feeling. It was one of the highlights of my Millwall career. Bloody brilliant it was. Today's match, where Bradshaw is set to make his 175th club appearance, will be the third without manager Gary Rowett, as the Millwall hierarchy continue to try and find his permanent replacement. Bradshaw says he has nothing but fond memories of Rowett and thinks his former boss should be proud of his legacy at the club. He said, he was here for a very long time. He was probably the longest serving manager I've had in my career. You get to know managers personally when they're here for that long, and it's nothing but fond memories for me. I think he did a great job. Whilst he was at the helm of Millwall, he finished in the top 10 every season bar one when he was here. To compete at that level and fall just short of the playoffs on 3 occasions out of 4 seasons, I think that's great credit to him and the direction he was taking the team. He was really composed and he filled people with confidence, and that's for me. That never went away. He was a manager you could rely on, and his record at Millwall speaks for itself. And my first impressions that he was going to direct us in the right direction were pretty accurate. He should look back and be really proud of what he achieved in Millwall. Caretaker boss Adam Barrett has had it. Aidomu Amaku celebrated his 20th birthday on Thursday. To the attack in his first 2 games in charge, the Irishman played just off Bradshaw in a 1-1 draw at Preston North End before he shifted to the wide left position for the 2-1 defeat against Blackburn Rovers. Bradshaw sees plenty of potential in the youngster and drew parallels between their upbringings from outside London. He said, he's a really good player, he is. He's got great natural attributes. He's really quick. He's powerful and he's direct, and that's something that really works well for the team, isn't it? Just having that natural pace is great on counter attacks, and it's always provides a threat. He took his first start really well, and he'll be chomping on the bit to follow that with some more good performances. He's a really humble, well-mannered lad, really. He's from Ireland, myself coming from Wales. I think when you're not from cities like London, I think coming to the big city, it can be quite daunting. But he's taken it in his stride, hasn't he? So he's a really humble lad, and I'm over the moon for him. There's Tom Bradshaw there. Welsh. You didn't know that? He's Welsh. Not Indian. Welsh. Now, manager. Got some manager news. Gareth Ainsworth. Hopefully nothing to do with Millwall. I'm just telling you because he's been sacked by QPR. We all knew it was coming. Has been linked with the Millwall job in the past. Hopefully that stays in the past. Yeah, I think it just shows year by year as the seasons go along that there is a market difference between the Championship and the League One. Championship is becoming like Premier League 2 now. But not only that, you really do need a budget. QPR obviously massive problems there. Cut their budget and they can't compete. So if you have a small budget, you need a good coach. You really, really do. And that's not what we got here. So hopefully this has nothing to do with Millwall. He was 11 years at Wycombe. He kept trying to leave them all the time. You would hear him see that he'd been linked with this club and that club, and he was having an interview here. Never ended up getting a job. He's a bit of a character. He is. He wears like leather trousers and shit like that. He plays in a band who released a CD the other month. So he's not your typical football manager. And so yeah, what can we look at? So similar to Gary Rowett, their woes at Loftus Road predate Ainsworth's arrival with just one victory in 22 games on home soil in all competitions since the start of 2022. The Rangers have only scored 4 goals at home this season, and they have not scored more than once in a home game since they overcame Wigan 2-1 on the 22nd of October last year, so 2022. Oof. Ainsworth did lead QPR to Championship survival last season, despite losing 6 of his first 7 matches in charge. Well, yes, but here's the thing. There's a massive asterisk that should be there. Reading would have stayed up if they didn't get a points deduction. Reading, on their performances on the field, would have had enough points to stay up. And I think it would have been QPR who went down. So, or maybe Huddersfield, I'm not too sure. Probably Huddersfield, I don't know. But, there you go, hopefully. This is nothing to do with Millwall, like I said, but it does in a way, because obviously it's another job in the Championship in London that's opened up, and we now have this. I don't know if this is from the Telegraph, not the Shepherd's Bush Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph, the national newspaper, and they put this up tonight, saying exclusive. Warnock is poised to replace Gareth Ainsworth, who was sacked after a run of 9 Championship games without a win. Obviously, they are very firmly in a relegation dogfight, and if you are in a relegation fight, who do you call? Ghostbusters. No, not Ghostbusters. Neil Warnock or Sam Allardyce or someone like that. Or if you're in the Premier League, you call Sam Allardyce. If you're in the Championship, you call that man there Neil Warnock, and he will get you out of the relegation doo-doo. So yeah, he's set to go there for his 3rd spell at QPR. Obviously been there before. He got promotion with them in 2011, so there you go. So that's one of our options off the table, it looks like. So Neil Warnock wants to make a return to Queen's Park Rangers and is expected to replace Gareth Ainsworth. Former Luton Town and Southampton manager Nathan Jones is also keen on the QPR job, but it is understood that Warnock is likely to be appointed until the end of the season. An announcement is expected in the next few days. Okay, is this true? So they're saying he's getting a job, but then they're saying Nathan Jones is also wanting a job. So if he's getting a job, why don't they just announce it straight away? Like, or maybe they have to figure out how much they're going to pay him and the budget and that. And then if he can come in and say, well, no, I'm not. If they haven't got a pot to piss in and can't bring any players in January, maybe he's going to come in and see how bad the situation is behind the scenes. I think, yeah, no, I'm all right. Maybe it's that. So I don't know. So maybe they do actually have to have a meeting with him and talk to him and discuss the situation before they sign the contract. But obviously this is the Telegraph article, so it's behind a paywall. But then it goes on at the end. It says other candidates such as former Birmingham City, blah blah. So John Eustace, but now I don't know what they say. So maybe they want a job as well. I don't know. Wasn't John Eustace was at QPR before? He was the assistant there. Before he left for another job, for the Birmingham job, I believe. So maybe he might go back there, John Eustace. But I doubt it, given the situation they're in. It's a really bad situation that they're in. Now, what has that done then to the prices? For oddschecker.com, Millwall's next permanent manager football special. Well, bizarrely, Warnock has stayed the same price. He's 5-2 at Sky Bet, 4-1 at BetVictor, and 4-1 at Parry Match. So there only seems to be 3 books on this at the moment. John Eustace has drifted out. Is that on the news of the QPR sacking? I don't know. But he's now 5-1 at BetVictor and Parry Match. Alan Barrett has shortened to 12-1 from I think 16s or thereabouts. But that's only on Sky Bet. But Nathan Jones has come in at BetVictor and Parry Match to 7-2, 3.5-1. Why? I can't see any articles, clickbait articles that suggest that. There's a reason for that. So we now have Nathan Jones second favourite, where Neil Warnock was second favourite before. No idea why. Like I said, this doesn't really mean anything until you get odds on. When you get a player that's a manager that's odds on, and or if they suspend the betting, and you see who's at the top, then that means they literally know. They know, so they're not even gonna. It means someone's walked into the betting shop in Downham Lane or South Bermondsey, Southwark Park Road, and just put a load of bets on someone. So yeah. There we go. Will we get a manager before Southampton? Highly unlikely. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But who will it be? Could this QPR job opening up take some of these names off the board for Millwall? We have to wait and see. One thing I would say, obviously the QPR job's opened up. Gary Rowett complaining, upset about working 4 years working away from his family in the Midlands. If Gary Rowett takes the QPR job, or maybe even if he applies for it, massive black mark on his reputation for me. I'm sorry. After moaning about being away from the Midlands, being away from your family, if you then take another job in London, even if it is like West London, which is probably easier to get to than South East London, I would still be like, come on mate, really? It's not like it's Watford or Luton or Barnet, North London. It's so there we go. But we wait and see. What will come out in the week. I don't know. Who will post anything on their Instagram next week? I don't know. We have to wait and see. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.